Well, Rolly Romero, a man of few words, he thanks God, and he's out of the ring.
In favor of the winner, and the new WBA welterweight champion of the world, the takeover, Teofimo Lopez.
Why don't I get the same like everybody else, right? Why is it because I'm a power puncher? Why? Because I'm awkward? Because of this? It's like I never get a fair shake.
Rolly Romero, a man usually known for his confidence, swagger, and outspoken personality, was visibly emotional after losing his WBA welterweight championship to Teofimo Lopez by majority decision. The moment the scorecards were announced, the entire atmosphere changed. Lopez was crowned the new WBA welterweight champion of the world, while Romero was left trying to process a result he clearly believed should have gone in his favor. What made the aftermath even more emotional was Romero's immediate reaction. Instead of simply accepting the defeat and walking away, he pointed toward his face and argued that Lopez had barely landed any clean punches throughout the fight. Romero insisted that he had taken very little punishment and believed his own cleaner, more damaging work should have been enough to retain the championship. From Romero's perspective,
My immediate thoughts, look at my face. I got hit with what? 2 clean shots the whole fight. So, if that's enough to beat the champion, that's enough to beat the champion.
The decision was extremely difficult to understand because he felt he had controlled large portions of the fight, landed the bigger shots, and avoided most of Lopez's clean punches. He repeatedly emphasized that he believed he had been hit by only a couple of clean shots during the entire contest, and that belief became the foundation of his argument for an immediate rematch. Romero wasn't simply disappointed. He felt that something had been taken away from him. He believed he had done enough to remain champion and made it clear that he considered himself owed another opportunity. The official result, however, belonged to Teofimo Lopez, who accomplished something significant by becoming a world champion across 3 weight divisions. The scorecards immediately became part of the discussion, with one judge seeing the fight as completely even. While the other 2 gave Lopez the edge. That narrow split decision created the perfect environment for controversy because it confirmed that this was not a completely one-sided fight. At least one official believed Romero had done enough to draw, while the other judges believed Lopez had accumulated enough rounds to take the championship. For Romero, the close scoring only strengthened his belief that he deserved another chance. He argued that Lopez had not seriously hurt him, while he felt that his own punches had repeatedly affected Lopez. Romero pointed to the visible condition of both fighters after the final bell as evidence supporting his position, insisting that the damage he caused was greater than what he received. He also believed his boxing ability had been overlooked because
He's never hurt me at any given moment. He got hurt multiple times throughout the fight. Every time I threw a shot, I landed it. He couldn't land anything clean on me, and it was clear and apparent.
Because of his reputation as a power puncher with an unconventional style. Romero questioned why certain fighters are praised for movement, defense, positioning, and making opponents miss, while he feels that when he uses similar techniques, his performance is judged differently because of his aggressive reputation. In his view, there is a double standard in boxing. He believes that his awkward movement and defensive ability are not always given the same respect as the more traditional styles of elite boxers. That frustration became one of the emotional themes of his post-fight comments. At the same time, the official punch statistics offered Lopez supporters a strong argument. According to the figures referenced in the
I've heard him multiple times. I am owed a rematch, for sure owed a rematch. And, congratulations to Teofimo.
report, Lopez landed significantly more total punches than Romero, giving him an advantage in overall activity. Those statistics do not automatically determine who won every round, because boxing is scored round by round and judges consider effective punching, defense, aggression, and ring generalship, but they provide important context for why Lopez was able to convince two judges that he had done enough to win. Romero, however, had moments that stood out dramatically, particularly during the fifth round when he landed a clean right hook and followed it with a flurry of punches. Lopez briefly went down to his knees during the sequence, although the referee did not rule it an official knockdown. Even without an official knockdown, the exchange became one of the biggest moments for Romero and his supporters because it appeared to show Romero landing the heavier and more damaging shots. Those moments are exactly why some viewers felt the fight was much closer than the final result suggested. But Lopez did not allow those moments to
shake. And it's apparent, you know. I clearly outboxed the dude that's supposed to be the best, one of the best boxers. He's an Olympian and all this stuff, you know. I clearly outboxed him. I cut him. I hurt him multiple times. I mean, it's clear as day. I deserve a rematch. And honestly, that decision was, you know, I mean, self-explanatory, man. It's not, you know.
Completely define the fight. As the contest progressed, he increased his activity, improved his defensive reactions, and continued working to win rounds. Lamont Roach Jr. offered an interesting perspective on the performance, acknowledging that Romero boxed well and landed big punches during the first half of the fight while avoiding significant punishment himself. However, Roach also believed Lopez took over with his activity toward the later rounds, potentially doing enough to persuade the judges. That assessment highlights one of the central questions surrounding the fight. Did Romero's bigger individual moments outweigh Lopez's overall activity and consistency? Romero clearly believes the answer is yes. Lopez's camp clearly believes the answer is no. Teofimo Lopez's victory also carried a much larger meaning for his career. Coming off a unanimous decision loss to Shakur Stevenson earlier in the year, Lopez faced questions about where his career was heading and whether he could return to the highest level. Instead of allowing that defeat to define him, he moved up to 147 pounds and captured a world title, immediately creating one of the biggest comeback stories of his career. With the victory, Lopez became a three-division world champion, adding another major achievement to his resume. His father, Teofimo Lopez Sr., was equally emotional and aggressive in celebrating the victory. He used the moment to respond to critics who had doubted his son and believed the Lopez family was finished at the highest level. For the Lopez camp, this was not simply another win. It was a statement that Teofimo could overcome adversity. O's accomplishment and congratulated him for becoming a three-division champion. That recognition carried additional significance because Stevenson had been responsible for one of the biggest setbacks of Lopez's recent career. Rather than ignoring Lopez's achievement, Stevenson showed respect for what he had accomplished. At the same time, Stevenson also praised Romero as a champion willing to fight anybody, showing respect to both sides of the matchup. That reaction demonstrated just how complicated the aftermath had become. Lopez deserved recognition for making history, while Romero still had legitimate reasons to believe that the fight was close enough to warrant another opportunity. The controversy is unlikely to disappear quickly because both sides have arguments they can point toward. Romero can point to the clean punches, the damage he believes he caused, the fifth-round sequence, and the fact that one judge scored the fight even. Lopez can point to his greater activity, his ability to maintain pressure and work throughout the fight, the two judges who scored the contest in his favor, and the fact that the official decision gave him the championship. Both narratives exist at the same time, which is why the possibility of a rematch is so interesting. Romero has already made his position clear. He believes he is owed another fight. He does not sound like a fighter who wants to disappear after a controversial defeat. Instead, he sounds like a champion who believes the argument remains unfinished. A rematch would provide the opportunity to settle the controversy inside the ring rather than through interviews, statistics, social media debates, and arguments between fans. If these two fighters meet again, Romero would have the chance to prove that his first performance was enough to win, and that the judges simply saw the fight differently. Lopez, meanwhile, would have the opportunity to prove that his victory was not controversial luck but the result of superior activity, adjustments, and championship-level boxing. The first fight created questions. A second fight could potentially provide answers. For now, though, Teofimo Lopez is the official champion, and Rolly Romero is the former champion determined to get his belt back. What made Romero's reaction so emotional was not simply losing the title. It was the belief that he had done enough to keep it. He congratulated Lopez despite his frustration, showing that even in a painful moment he could acknowledge the achievement of his opponent. But the disappointment was impossible to hide. Romero's message was clear. He does not believe the story is over. He believes he can beat Lopez, believes he was the better fighter on the night, and believes a rematch is necessary to settle the argument. Meanwhile, Lopez now enters a new chapter as a three-division world champion, carrying the confidence that comes with another major accomplishment after suffering a difficult defeat earlier in